My name is Carmen, and today we have a reading for you about somebody who is realizing that they have gotten too close to somebody, or that even though they felt that they were very connected to someone, now they're feeling like it's time to pull away. So I feel like this is probably a breakup. It could also be obviously like friendships, can sometimes come to an end, right? So they can feel like a breakup as well. But this is someone who's wanting to take action to put some distance between them, and someone who wasn't willing to work on things or didn't want to level up. So you might have had pretty significant differences in terms of how you want to live your life or what kind of morals you feel are important. You might have also just felt like this was somebody who wasn't treating you with the respect that you deserve. Uh, is this Rachel? Hello, Rachel. Hello, Key Controller. Hello, Renata. How are we doing? I hope we're having a good day. Let's call on spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And if you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box, as is more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. And I think we will go with, we're gonna start with the cats rule the earth. What's up, Funny? How you doing today? Nah, you're good. Hello, Sally. How are you doing? Key Controller, that just makes me think of the commercial from ages ago. Was it Volkswagen, maybe? I'm not getting paid for this, but it was da, da, da. Da, da. Okay, sorry. Anybody else? Just me? Five of Pentacles in the reverse. Knight of Swords. Ace of Wands in the reverse. Okay, more specifically, I feel like you have already blocked this person. You knew that there was some lack of maybe genuine intent on the other person's behalf. There was something that made you feel there was nothing you could do to salvage this, or that you had done everything that you could. But I feel like this person's coming back and realizing that you've blocked them, or realizing that you're not interested. Maybe you leave them on red. But the Ace of Wands is in the reverse, because I feel like somebody comes back, says something. Maybe they're like, and here I am. Like, didn't you miss me? But they're going to be a little bit shocked that either you have already blocked this person or you don't respond. Two of Pentacles. Page of Swords in the reverse, Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Because the thing is, you never know which one of these person's personalities you're going to get. With this Two of Pentacles, I feel like what you ended up realizing is that it was really unpredictable. Again, whether it was a friendship or a romantic connection, there were two sides to this person. And sometimes you had a great time, and other times you were like, can I get the other you? Like, where's that person? Because this ain't it. That's not funny. Page of Swords in the reverse, Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. And you started to wonder, was the version of them that you really liked or got along with just a fake version of them? Were they slowly revealing, I'm not really that cool, or I'm not really that chill, I actually love to argue, or I'm actually really toxic or codependent? Because the Queen of Pentacles is in the reverse, and you felt like there was nothing where you could build on that connection with this person. Knight of Wands and the Empress. So we're going to call this person from your past who's realizing that you've blocked them or you're not interested, the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. And they view you as the Empress. It doesn't matter what your gender is or their gender. This is just energy that I'm reading. But we're talking about somebody who basically demonstrated that you couldn't rely on them, you couldn't depend on them, and they would not show you the respect that you deserved. But we also have this, as far as your energy, this patience that they recognized in you. this loving energy, and they hoped or expected that you would put up with more than you did because of that loving energy. It might have been. I wouldn't be surprised. Hello, how's it going, Yubi? Hello, famous Seamus. How are you doing? We've got Wheel of Fortune and the King of Pentacles. You offered this person the trusting friendship or romance that they were looking for. And yet I feel like they still tried to like test you, or they still tried to, you know, it's like they expected you to be less loving, less honest, or, you know, if I'm wearing a mask, you're probably wearing a mask too. So at what point do you stop being so cool or so like lovable? And when do we actually just like let the like ugly side of our personality hang out? Because this is somebody who had been wearing a mask. So with the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Pentacles, I think that you were able to see that perhaps there was something that was a little bit uneven between the two of you. This was your energy, right? Trying to offer this friendship or this love in a genuine way and being quite stable or not being codependent. And yet you didn't really know, were you going to get the nice version or the not so nice version from this person? Okay, this is not for everyone, but for someone out there, there's hetero, is it chromia, where you have one, like different colored eyes? Two of Swords in the reverse, and the Lovers. You realized that what had gone so well with this person was kind of like a reflection of your own energy, because that person was, in a way, just trying to mirror back the kind and considerate energy that you showed them. And that's why initially you were like, okay, this could be like the one. This could be someone I'm supposed to have, you know, some great romance with. But I feel like it went downhill pretty quickly. Queen of Swords and the Eight of Wands. So I said, I feel like it went downhill pretty quickly. And then we get, this is fast moving energy, the Eight of Wands, and the Queen of Swords is somebody who has boundaries. Oh, I didn't know you were going to talk to me that way. I didn't know you were going to treat me that way. So if that's how it is, then I need to reassess how I view this connection. Hello. How do I say that? Can I just say 8 fear? Hello, John. How are you doing? Hello, Christina. Or is it Kristen? Yeah, when people show you what their real character is, chances are it's the worst version of them that's the true version, right? Now, let's be real. They're totally, like, a good example would be the, like, teddy bear type, right? Somebody's real kind and loving underneath, but they have this really, like, tough exterior. Of course, that's going to happen. But I feel like this is somebody who is trying to show this Empress energy to you that they saw in you in hopes that you would stick around long enough to maybe catch feelings and then not be able to leave them when they showed their true colors. Hello, Laughlin. How are you doing today? I suppose it's Laughlin. You can totally make fun of me if I'm saying things wrong by though. Why is my divine masculine often misunderstood? What a great question, and thank you for the tip. I look forward to doing that. If this is your first time in the live chat, I start the personal questions after the general reading, which is usually about 30 or 35 minutes in, and we're just about at 10 minutes, but you would be the very first question. Why is my divine masculinity often misunderstood? All right, I've got that added for you. Hey, Lemonade, how you doing? Hello. Is it Danny? Where's the cake? All right, so we've got the Two of Swords and wow, the King of Pentacles in the reverse, clarifying the King of Pentacles. So just so you can see what I see, this to me is like when you see a reflection, or we could even argue this is like when you see someone's picture, but it's got a heavy filter on it. You know, I'm showing you what I want you to see, but it's a distorted version of what's really there. This is someone who was trying to mirror your energy, your stability, your loving Empress energy. But the reality is they don't have these characteristics that they were trying to demonstrate for you. It's like, do I want to compare it to that? Okay, I will I will compare it to Data on Star Trek, who wasn't human and had been created, right? He was an android and struggled with things like laughing at jokes or making the right facial expressions, picking up on those social cues. And this is someone who I feel would have that same problem. So they might ask you or might have asked you from time to time, is that what I should do? Or kind of like probing questions to see if they handled it the way that you would have wanted them to, kind of indicating that they didn't really know how to do it themselves. This is like, I'm not normally nice, but is that how you pay a compliment? Did that make you feel good inside? Yes. We've got Judgment in the reverse and Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. So this person messages you and is realizing that they may have actually lost you for good, because normally I think they understand that you're the type of person who would respond relatively quickly if a no contact situation was then suddenly back in contact, right? Hello, Gemini, how are you doing? Oh, hold on, I want to make sure I say your name right. Is it Yova? Welcome back, how you doing? I could always try to say Lucas. I feel like I won't mess that one up. Hello, how's it going, Amber? It might be more than one person. Even out here just blocking all the toxic people. I mean, there's a few of them. There might be a few of them where we're like, hey, you know what? It's a cold night. I'm a little lonely. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. Oh my gosh, 60 seconds has already passed. Why haven't they responded back yet? Look, I think we have someone who's concerned because they have some reason to believe that you are doing better without them than before, right? That you aren't in this Nine of Swords, but they are. So especially if you're not responding, or if you have blocked this person and you're staying focused on what you need to, whether that's work or family obligations, or maybe it's a new love interest. This is driving them crazy because you're not like chomping at the bit for some communication with somebody who you probably would just get ghosted by or who would lie to you, right? So we have the Ace of Wands in the reverse and the Eight of Wands again. And it's clarifying, meaning, I don't know if you all know that that's what I mean. Like I showed you the King of Pentacles. When I lay a card and it's immediately below it, it's like it's clarifying this energy for me. And here Spirit is like, I said what I said. It wants. Real fast movement. Like, this person did not expect you to walk away and be serious about it. So especially if they're keen on using manipulation in close relationships, they probably expected that they could use some sort of, oh, I'm going to disappear and then leave things kind of like up in the air, and then you'll have this like confusion or this desire to at least get some answers, and it makes it easier for me to come back around in the future. They have misread you. They have like assumed that you're level 1 and you're not, okay? It's like, have you ever worked in a retail shop and there's some, I don't know, promotion, or there's a coupon, or there's a, you know, like you get the 13th bagel free on whatever it is, right? But then somebody comes in and they're like trying to tell you how to do your job, and they're saying that they deserve like double what they're supposed to get, or it's supposed to be this other thing instead of that, like the more expensive version. This is someone who thought that they could explain to you or just kind of like puppet master you, as if you didn't really have a couple of brain cells to rub together and recognize that they were manipulative. So, you know, I guess that's their bad. They should probably do a little bit better, I don't know, observations. Do they have a litmus test? This is like, they thought that you were just gonna, okay, you know? Especially when they communicate. Now you're not responding. Now they're realizing that you've blocked them, and they're having to look within. They're having to question, did I do this wrong? Let me just let me just check my checklist here for manipulating somebody into like loving me. I did that. That worked last time. Did that? I think I did everything right. Why isn't this person like begging for my attention? I'm so confused. Look, brains and emotional processing are not one size fits all. You know? 404 brain not found. I love that you're included. Insert key to continue. That's perfect. It's like giving me flashbacks to when I had to find the key that I had printed out somewhere for my job. And I had to like look through literally every file. Okay, 4 of Pentacles in the reverse, 6 of Wands, and the 3 of Swords. Oh, I'm sorry, manipulative person. Is my unwillingness to be manipulated by you breaking your heart? Look, this is someone who felt like they had enough history with you, they had enough experience with you, they had seen how you reacted in other situations, or maybe even carried out this little mission of theirs successfully in the past. They may have been able to push you only so far. They just didn't realize that they'd already gotten to the point where you would be like, and I'm done. Okay, you can leave. We're done. See you later. Bye. They thought they had carried out what they, you know, needed to. They felt pretty good about like, oh, I said my piece. I said what I wanted to say. They'll come back. Or, you know, I'll wait like 2 months or 3 months, and then I'll, you know, swing back around and we won't have to talk about it and everything will be great. So we have the 6 of Pentacles in the reverse, the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, and the 10 of Wands. This is someone who does not very easily admit defeat. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say this is somebody who says that they won, or that a victory was attributable to them when it wasn't. I'm going to go with the beautiful word braggadocious. You should have seen the way I took that left-hand turn. Like, you want a high five? Oh, everything you do? I don't know. I need to chill a little bit because I don't like this person. Okay. This is... No, actually, I want an oracle deck. What do we want? We're going to go with the truth is. All right. What do we have for this person who wore a mask? Oh, this does have one of those mask cards, or playing games. So that might come out. Yes, I agree with that. Most don't realize what they had until it's gone. And that's how you learn a lesson, right? I don't know, man. I feel like I only had to watch a few of those movies before I was like, huh, that's a really smart point. Maybe I should treat people well so that I don't lose the connections that are important to me. This person's embarrassed. They should have known better. They should have read the room. They should have acknowledged how important you were, or acknowledged that you're smarter than them. Upward inflected tone, because I don't really like being all comparative like that, but at the very least, this person underestimated you because they didn't think that they needed to like measure twice. You know what I mean? But I think the more likely scenario is that we have someone, okay, how do we say this? The Queen of Pentacles, sorry, my hair is driving me crazy. I keep seeing it's like, the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse would be the type of person who likes to say, I did that, aren't I smart? Whereas the Empress energy or King of Pentacles energy is more the type to be like, you know, I'm standing in front of it, but I don't need to make like some big deal, right? I did something, it was cool. I feel like there's the difference here is subtlety, you know? I once was working with I was working with someone who came over for the day to help out our store. And she was trying so desperately to make everybody like her. And we were standing around. I don't even remember who brought it up, but someone was talking about another like coworker and basically saying like they were being overly humble, even though they had like the best sales or they had the best like reputation at work or whatever. They were being humble. And this new girl is like, oh, I'm really good at humility. I'm really humble. I know I've told this story before, but this is the kind of person I'm picking up on. And it's like, look, you got to be able to celebrate your wins. It's important to have confidence that's based on what you like about yourself. But please do not be out here bragging about how humble you are. That's the energy that I'm getting here. So this is somebody who, guarded, closed heart is holding your relationships back. This is someone who liked to make you question whether or not they were serious about you. Should we just be friends? Can we actually make this work long term? I feel like they like to kind of zero in on certain things about you that were like it's non-negotiable, right? This is who I am, this is what I do, this is what I like, whatever. And they wanted to like nitpick at that. Like, I don't know, I think I could probably be with you, but do you think you could potentially like get some plastic surgery and like look different? I don't think they actually asked that, but that's they wanted to make you feel like you weren't good enough. Like if you wanted to be with them, that you would have to keep like kind of jumping through hoops for it. So I think this non-response to their text message, or they're finding out that you've blocked them, or for some of you, even just saying like, thanks, I think I'm gonna pass, is the message this person needs to hear to realize that the way that they manipulate people is never going to get them what they want. It's always going to end with problems and frustrations and feeling like they are stuck. So that's probably where they're at right now. What am I supposed to do now? I can't get any answers from this person. They don't miss me, and they usually do. Hello, Didi Tono, what's up? Hello, Wigwan. Oh, did you? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not everyone agrees with me, but I think everyone has their own type of beauty. And I think when you start to see like carbon copies of the same face, or people losing things like, I don't know, maybe you were pulling off that gap in your teeth. Maybe that mole was like what made you like stand out, or like you were unforgettable. Like, I don't know, we got people changing things that I don't think they need to be changing. Anyways, this was somebody who was trying to mirror what your energy was to make you feel like you could be comfortable with them, even though this was not somebody who intended to be honest or reliable or accessible. Three of Cups, Nine of Cups. They want to kind of like, I don't know, like pace or space out the interactions or the periods of time where you're connected and feeling close to each other, because they want you to think that what they have to offer is what you want, but it isn't. King of Cups. How adorable is this guy? Look at him. Aw. The King of Cups is, with the star in the reverse. I feel like this is misdirection. So I want to do the things that suggest that I'm emotionally available, or that I am, you know, comfortable with how I feel. But at the same time, there are things that betray or that you pick up on or observe that I'm not healed. It would be like, have you ever had somebody that lied to you about being able to understand a different language? So I speak Spanish. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I do speak Spanish. And we had somebody who applied to work at our store who claimed to speak, I believe it was Spanish and Japanese in addition to English. And the boss was like, hey, you know, like we've been lied to in the past. Do you think like you could maybe just like sit down and have a conversation with this person and see if they actually do speak that language? And you, things get embarrassing real quick when people realize that they've been found out on a lie like that, at least if they have, you know, some sense of self. And if you caught on to this person wearing a mask and started noticing little glitches like you were in the Matrix, I feel like you almost started to like keep track of them or write them down, or like you told a friend about it and somebody was like, that's wild. There's something doesn't match up here, right? Because if you are this and you say that you act this way, but then there's these little hints left along the way that suggest that it's actually quite painful for you to be a nice person. You know, how long do you expect people to believe that you are who you say you are? I think you figured out this person, you realize that they like to wear a mask, they like to pretend that there's something that they're not, and you felt pretty justified in blocking them or walking away or ending this friendship. They still feel like they can fool you. Somehow. They're like, oh, I might have to try a little bit harder. This is like, you know, a level 2. Can I talk to your supervisor? Three of Swords in the reverse, Page of Swords in the reverse. Now they're realizing, okay, maybe I can't just like send a message. Maybe it has to be more than just like trying to call someone. Maybe I have to like spend some money or like send a gift or show up in person. They're just like, if this person doesn't like me, maybe they just want me to talk to them in a different way. Or not at all. Animatrix? Oh man. Hello, Cat's Tongue. How are you doing? Oh, that's gonna be stuck in my head now. Hello, Matt. How are you doing? Yeah, I agree, Matt. You know, look, I like to behave myself in a certain way, and I'm not gonna be a jerk just because somebody else is a jerk. But at the same time, like, you know, having to like watch all of the words to make sure that the words don't get critiqued in some way, it's just exhausting, you know? All right. So we have the Sun in the reverse, the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Ace of Wands in the reverse. This is done. This is over. It's more than just like, you know, a little rough patch. The reality is that I see you were trying to portray yourself as somebody that you are not. You don't actually care about the things that you said you care about. And you certainly don't seem to care about other people's perspectives based on, you know, how you argue or the stubbornness. All right, let's see. Let's see what we get from the untold messages of the heart, and then we're going to start with those personal questions, okay? Hey, Alfeo, that is not what my job title is. Hello. Did I say hello to Great One? I don't think so. Good morning. Hello, Doctor. What's up? Yeah, it just tests the patience, doesn't it? So we have, I can't be tied down right now. I have too many interests. I can't be apart from you much longer. I feel like an idiot for the choices that I've made. I wasn't thinking clearly at the time. So they're going to try to make it seem like they're not the same person as the one who created the chaos or the arguments between the two of you. And while they can't be apart from you much longer, they're also over here saying like, yeah, but like also I'm busy. So I'm probably only going to hang out for like 30 minutes and then I'm going to run away. It's like they always want it to be their choice, their schedule. Okay. In my mind, I'm seeing the dude from Kill Bill. Oh, can I say that on YouTube? I think so. It's a movie, you guys. Don't get all upset. Where Michael Madsen's character gets in trouble for wearing the hat. And I was like extra delighted to read that apparently that scene is inspired by like real life Michael Madsen saying, but I like the hat. I want to wear the hat. And then his boss has the calendar up and he's like, oh, nope, you don't work this week. Don't work that day either. Weird. Oh, not this day either. This is somebody who's trying to pretend like they were offering up so much, or they were really trying, or they were doing their level best. The reality is they were being stubborn. They could have taken off the hat. In my opinion, Michael Madsen wearing the hat worked out great. I'm happy that that's how it went. Apparently, there were other people that didn't like it. But that scene sticks out in my mind, you know? Am I the only one? Did I? Yes, of course you can, Rachel. So we've got, honestly, I pretend to be someone I'm not because feeling vulnerable is uncomfortable. Okay. So they're making excuses, but like, this is why you're not interested in communicating with them as well. By the way, it says mask on the top of that one. And then we have don't go. Don't give up on me yet. I'm scared to lose you. Oh, well, sorry. Don't play games with people that you don't want to lose. Because how can you trust like, oh, I'm going to work on this. Okay, but haven't I heard that before, right? All right, let's move to those personal questions. I'm excited for this one. We've got, I think I'm supposed to pronounce it Laughlin. Why is my divine masculine energy often misunderstood? And this is the Tarot of the Nile. Chariot, Queen of Wands, Nine of Swords, Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, Ten of Cups in the reverse. Okay, that's a weird analogy, but I'll go with it. So apparently at a certain point, there was a change in the structure of like teeth that we grow, right? What was it, like wisdom teeth? Y'all can make fun of me. I'm one of those people that like never had them. um, this feels like evolutionary to me. There is a difference in terms of like how you were made, like how you approach things. It seems to other people that you're like speaking a different language. So I'm not trying to make you feel like you are less a part of the community around you or that there's nobody like you in a bad way. I'm saying that there's something about your story that was always supposed to be about you discovering how life goes when you're more of a hermit or on your own, because you are different from others around you. I feel possibly even, there could be some things that make you feel like you don't fit in terms of family or in terms of your work situation, but it's pressure is how they make diamonds, right? Or go from raw to, is it processed diamonds? I don't know what the technical terms would be. You're not supposed to be like other people because being unlike other people helps you to see things all the more clearly. And with the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, also helps you to identify who is worth investing in, because it may not be a whole group of people, right? You might have a smaller inner circle than others for a reason. We have the Ten of Cups in the reverse. Tell me more. Page of Wands. Ace of Swords. Six of Cups and the Queen of Cups in the reverse. Sometimes you learn lessons the easy way and sometimes you learn them the hard way, but the lessons that you learn in a difficult manner, those are the ones that you're going to learn real good, right? Obvious example being like touching the stove, realizing it's hot. I think you were surrounded by or perhaps raised by someone who lived in a bit of delusion, or someone who liked to create delusions or illusions around them. And you had to define that truth for yourself. It could be even like religious beliefs or how to deal with other people. So there's a lot that you had to kind of carve out for yourself. I feel like that's part of the reason that you're so grounded or so connected or understand yourself. But it also sets you apart from others, and people misunderstand it because they lack some of that ability to understand the different sides of themselves, or even like the motivations below, or like acting as a catalyst for their behaviors. So you speak your own language. Wheel of Fortune, Nine of Wands in the reverse, Ten of Pentacles. This is going to change. I see a few people here who you're about to encounter. With this Wheel of Fortune, I feel like there have been decisions that you've made, or actual like changes, like moving or new job, ending a relationship, changes around what your daily routine is as a result of what you're surrounded by. You're making changes in a way that may feel a little bit uncomfortable or disruptive, but with the Ten of Pentacles, I feel like that's what enables you to get to the right place and find like a soul tribe, or the people that really will understand what your perspective is, right? Hey, Wanda, are you okay? Chill. Everything's gonna be okay. Hello, Joshua Tree. I love the name. I'm sorry you're going through difficult times. I didn't see what the original message was, but I'm sending you a hug. Yes. Good advice from Zatz. Hello, Sarah. How are you doing? So thank you again to Laughlin. Joshua Tree, would you like me to read any cards for you? You just let me know. I feel like doing a freebie. How are you gonna do that, Adam? I mean, you can also make the family who you choose, right? Have a good one, Adam. If she really feels no interest. Indeed. I got you, Joshua Tree. This is the Earth and Bones Tarot. For Joshua Tree, is it true that she has no interest anymore? And she lost interest. There's still some here. Still some interest. 10 of Swords in the reverse, High Priestess, 9 of Jars, or 9 of Cups. She's keeping something secret here. Is this like a responsibility or obligation? So there's still interest here, but this is, I feel like there's some inner turmoil or difficult, like feeling like I need to make a decision energy coming from her. Trying to figure out what I want. Feel like I have to make a decision, but I'm not ready to make a decision. And with the 6 of Wands, I feel like it's choosing who's the number one, right? Because we got the blue ribbon there. But the Page of Jars or the Page of Cups is a betta fish. So if you know, Siamese fighting fish, right? They don't really do well with others. I feel like right now we have somebody who is blocking off everybody. Like, don't come near me kind of energy. Yeah, Hermit in the reverse. Leave me alone. 9 of Wands or 9 of Wicks in the reverse. So has somebody else like upset her? Yeah, 8 of Jars. So there's like multiple sources of turmoil or frustration, and one thing in particular that has really upset your person. Is there still interest? Yes, but it is under like a pile of other emotions that seem a little bit like heavy, right? So it might just be too much at this point to deal with. It may also feel like under all of those other emotions, like she might actually think that she doesn't have any interest, right? Like, how could I possibly be interested in that right now when I'm dealing with this family situation, right? 4 of Crystals or 4 of Swords, the Hanged Man, and the World in the reverse. So the advice is to focus on what you can for yourself. I could make a joke that like people are probably getting ready for swimsuit season. This is like swimsuit season, but for your soul. Like, work on yourself as far as, if this person were to come back around when things settle down for them, I don't want to be, like unshaven, hanging out in my PJs and haven't brushed my teeth in a week, right? But we're talking about your soul, not your teeth. I was talking about wisdom teeth earlier too. That's weird. This person a dentist or something? This is like a time for you to make sure all your ducks are in a row. And at the very least, you get to say, hey, I crossed all those things off my list. Things are better now. But you have to also be able to accept that if this is the ending, then it might be that there's a different soulmate or divine counterpart that comes in for you to take advantage of the fact that you have worked on these things that, now you would be quite the catch. So be open-minded, and if this person can work out their stuff, then I think you'll hear from them. Exactly. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Joshua Tree. I hope you have a great day. Hello, Eric. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Anybody else got a question? All I ask is you gotta like and or subscribe. Hello, Steve. I broke up with my boyfriend yesterday. How is he taking it? How is he taking the breakup? Ten of Candles or Ten of Wands, the Sun, Three of Potions or Three of Cups in the reverse, Nine of Swords. Why the Sun? Three of Candles, Hierophant, Two of Candles. Okay, so this feels to me like somebody who might have been flirting with someone else. 10 of Wands and the Sun. I don't really expect to see the Sun come out after a breakup, right? Because presumably you'd be a little bit bummed or a little bit upset about it. Three of Cups in the reverse or Three of Potions in the reverse and the Nine of Swords. I kind of feel like this is somebody who was a little bit worried that they might actually get in trouble for what they were getting into. We have the Three of Candles or Three of Wands, the Hierophant, and the Two of Candles or the Two of Wands. Yeah. I think it's a smart move on your part, by the way, to walk away, because this is somebody who is now thinking, okay, so I guess I'll go tell somebody else that I'm single and we'll go get into it. So is this person like dating someone else? More so like now I can text or call when I want. I feel like this is escapism. I'm not going to let these feelings sink in. I'm going to focus on what I think is like the bright side of the situation. But the problem is with the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, this is somebody who's like, everything is going to be so great when I'm on my own. And I feel like they're in for a little bit of surprise. Five of Cups, Five of Potions in the reverse. Magician and the Eight of Swords. Yeah, I'm working to pretend that everything is fine. I'm not upset. I won't miss, you know, that person. I'm free. I'm independent. I don't have to like answer to anybody. I can do what I want. Wah ha 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 ha. But with the Eight of Swords, it's like this is emotional heartbreak that has only been delayed, or, you know, it's going to eventually set in. And they're making it worse for themselves. How are they making it worse for themselves? Queen of Presents or Queen of Pentacles. Knight of Presents or Knight of Pentacles. Oh, this person's sitting and looking at your pictures. So like 1 second they're talking to their friends and they're like, yeah, I'm single, this is great, you know, I can do what I want. And then at night it's like, I'm gonna look at these pictures. But I'm not heartbroken. Everything's fine. I don't want to admit that I'm heartbroken. Right now it's a little bit shocked, but it's going to settle in. And then they're going to be like, what did I do? Why is it like this? Kind of, yeah. I'm happy to help you with that, famous Seamus. That would be so tough. Okay, so famous Seamus's wife posting about financial difficulties. Are they having a housing issue? Yes, they're having a housing issue. Three of Pentacles, Justice in the reverse, Nine of Swords. Lots of anxiety over maybe even a technicality or like, hey, there's nothing that can be done. This is just how it goes. Yeah. Is there any help? I do feel like it's difficult to find a program or somebody who's willing to help. Trying to look for new avenues or new opportunities or something that could potentially make this less stressful. And is the dog still with them? Yes. The dog misses you. Doesn't feel like it gets the same kind of appreciation, or it doesn't feel the same connection, perhaps. Four of Swords in the reverse, the Sun in the reverse. So I do feel like your dog might be dealing with a little bit of like depression, or at least like wondering like, will I ever see you? Three of Wands in the reverse. And I do feel like there are things that should happen more regularly to make the dog more comfortable that don't happen. Going to the vet or something like that. But I do think that more or less, dog is good, just misses you, right? Do you mind if I ask if you'll see the dog again? Hello, Marsha. How are you doing? Aw. Will Famous Seamus see the dog again? Yes. It could actually be because of the housing difficulty. If, for example, you know, like I have to move to a smaller place or they don't allow a dog, it could be, will you take the dog? But I don't feel like you'll see this coming at all. It'll be like out of the blue, like, hey, can we talk about the dog? Knight of Cups in the reverse. There is a possibility that there's a family friend that would take the dog instead of you. So it's like, if this becomes a problem with regards to finances and, you know, maybe the dog isn't getting the food that the dog should be getting, there could be a suggestion made by like a family friend or someone that's like, well, maybe you could, you know, try to see if you could send the dog elsewhere. Or maybe, you know, your friend Stuart wants to take the dog. I'm hopeful that this is basically saying someone is advocating for, if this is too much of a financial burden, why not let Famous Seamus take the dog? Okay. So I would start visualizing that, manifesting the dog coming back to you. Because there's some unexpected difficulty here that makes it seem like managing that is too much, or keeping the dog is too much. And dogs, animals, humans deserve to be cared for, right? Good. I'm glad to hear that. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. I love you all. Thank you for liking and thank you for subscribing. If you're able to hype the video, I appreciate that as well. And I will see you on the next reading. Doodles.